Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing well today. This is our second, welcome to our second video of quarter four. This is unit 7, part 2, lesson 2. We're going to continue factoring, but now we're going to factor with a binomial. All right, so when you are factoring with the remember here, let's do the first recall together. Remember, when you are factoring, you are doing setting up your chart, and it will be a times c, and then it's b, right? So remember, we have a x squared plus bx plus c. So a here would be r2, b would be 5, and then c would be 2 as well. So a times c would actually be 2 times 2, which is 4, and our b would be 5. So what we're looking for is two numbers that multiply together that equal 4, and also add up to 5. So first, let's try 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 does give us 4, but 2 plus 2 equals 4. So that doesn't work. So now we're looking to 4 times 1. 4 times 1 equals 4, and 4 plus 1 equals 5. So those are our magic numbers. Remember, we split the term, b term, so you're going to have 4x plus 2, and then up here you'll have 2x squared. Then you're going to create your box, which you'll factor out of. All right, so inside of our box, we'll have the first term always goes first, so we're going to have 2x squared plus 4x plus x plus 2. Now we factor from left to right and top to bottom. So left to right, we're looking for numbers and variables when appropriate. So left to right first, we do have a 2 and a 4, so we're going to bring out a 2. And we also have an x squared and x, so we'll bring out an x. So x plus 1 is a positive 1, because there's no number that comes out of 1 and 2 except for 1, and there's no variable that we can bring out. So we just put a 1 there. So here we're going to have 2x squared and x, so we'll just bring on an x. And then we have 4x and 2, and that's going to be a positive 2. Now remember, this box tells you if that is going to be positive or negative. That's positive, so that's going to be positive. This box tells you if that's going to be positive or negative. That's positive, so that's positive. So your answer would look like 2x plus 1 times x plus 2. Now, moving on to factoring our binomials. First, this is a binomial. So what is this missing? Ax squared plus bx plus c. This is missing the second term, bx. Well, when there's a term missing, it can also be labeled as 0, right? So if I put this down, x squared plus 0x minus 25, that is essentially the same thing. So now we have our term, or our trinomial quadratic. So we do a times c, which is going to be negative 25. And then we have our b, which is 0. So we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 25 and add to 0. So that's going to be negative 5, and 5 gives us negative 25, and negative 5 plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so now that we have our middle, we have negative 5x and we have 5x. Remember, always take the variable of the term that's the second term. Now that's going to be our first term in the box. And this is going to be our second term in the box. These two, it doesn't matter where they go. So now we're going to go ahead and take out our greatest common factor. So we'll take out x here. 1 and 5, you can only take out a 1. But we have 5 and negative 25. So we can take a 5 out, so we will write 5. Now, is this going to be a positive 5 or a negative? That's going to be a positive 5. Up here, we can take out an x. Is this going to be a positive 5 or a negative 5? That's going to be a negative 5 because that box is negative. So your answer is x plus 5 times x minus 5. Now, sometimes you're going to have a prime quadratic. A prime quadratic means there are no solutions, which means if you had a graph, it would not cross the x-axis at all. Does not cross, no solutions. This is prime. If we split in the middle, we get x squared plus 0x plus 25. Now, we're looking for numbers that multiply to 25 but add to 0. Positive 25. 5 plus 5, or 5 times 5, equals 25. But 5 plus 5 equals 10. All right, now let's say we have negative 5 times 5. That gives us negative 25. But negative 5 plus 5 does give us 0. So what you have to understand is you have to look closely at the sign of your numbers. You could easily make the mistake and say, well, negative 5 and 5 should go there. No, that's a positive 25. Be careful. This is a prime number or a prime quadratic. All right, moving on. Let's do A, B, and maybe we'll do C and D, and then we'll move on. Or that'll be the end of my video. So we have x squared here. We're going to make it middle term. X squared plus 0x minus 9. Now we have to do A times C. Our A times C, our A is 1, and our C is negative 9. So we need something to multiply negative 9 and add to 0. I'm thinking it's going to be 3 times negative 3. 3 times negative 3 does give us negative 9, and 3 plus negative 3 does give us 0. All right, we're cooking with gas here. So now we're going to break this down. X squared plus 3x minus 3x minus 9. We're going to put that into our box, and we're going to factor it out. We have x squared here. We have negative 9 there. Remember, the first term goes in the first box. The last term goes to the last box. The 3x's, it doesn't matter where they go. So now we're going to factor out. First thing we're going to do is left to right are rows. We have an x that comes out. Our next one, we have a 3, but what type of 3? Because that's negative, it's going to be minus 3. We have an x that comes out here, and a 3 that comes out here. Because that's positive, that's going to be a positive 3. Your answer is x plus 3 times x minus 3. All right, one more. Well, a couple more. All right, first thing we want to do here is see if there's a greatest common factor. We didn't do that here because there was no greatest common factor. There's a greatest common factor here. Remember, if you are in Desmos, all you have to do to get the greatest common factor is go GCF and go parentheses 9, comma 36. Do not worry about the sign of the numbers, just put in the number. That will spit out the GCF is 9. So now I divide each term by 9, and I get 9 times x squared minus 4. Now I have to break this down. So I leave that 9 out there, and I say x squared plus 0x minus 4. Now, I create my t-chart. This is an easy one because it's such a small number. There's not a lot of numbers that multiply to negative 4. So I do 2 times negative 2, and then 2 plus negative 2. That works. Check. That's what I'm going to use. So it's going to be 9. It's going to be x squared plus 2x minus 2x minus 4. All right, so now I'm going to use my box here. X squared plus 2x minus 2x minus 4. Here we're going to have x. There we're going to have negative 2. There we're going to have x. There we're going to have positive 2. Remember, this box lets you know what that's going to be, and that box lets you know what that's going to be. So your answer will be, don't forget your 9, ladies and gentlemen. 9 x minus 2, and then x plus 2 would be your answer. All right, now moving on. I'm going to erase some of this. If you need to go back, you guys can just pause it or rewind it. X squared plus 4. All right, now this is a plus. Notice something I didn't tell you at the beginning. Whenever it's a plus, it's not going to be a factor, right? But you can always check it by putting it in Desmos. Number 2, when we go ahead and solve this, it will not work out. So what we'll do is we'll add our 0x. So we're looking for numbers that multiply to a positive 4, 2 times 2, or 4 times 1, that add to 0. So 2 plus 2 is 4. That doesn't work. And 4 plus 1 is 5. Got even bigger. That doesn't work. So what's our answer to this? Prime. All right, one more. Go ahead and erase that. Like I said, if you need that, go ahead and rewind and allow yourself more time to look at it. All right, now this one here is going to be x to the fourth minus 16x y to the fourth. Is there a GCF? No, there's not. So we'll just write x to the fourth, and then we'll do minus 0x squared y squared. Okay? And it's squared because if you think about it, whenever we do x squared or x squared here, the middle one is always half. So instead of 2, it went to 1. Instead of 4, it went to 2. Minus 16 y to the fourth. Now this one has a little bit of work in it. Okay? Let's erase this. We're going to need some space. All right, so first thing we're going to do is make this our t-chart. What adds to negative 16? What multiplies next negative 16 adds to 0? Let's do negative 4 and positive 4. That works. Negative 4 plus 4 does equal 0. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you cannot remember how to get these factors, go into where we have to go, Desmos. Let's see if I can pull it up for you guys. Desmos. So we have Desmos here. And if you want to know negative 16, you do negative 16 divided by x, right? That gives you your graph. This here, settings, table, you have all the numbers that multiply. You only want whole numbers. You only want whole numbers, okay? Let's go back to here. All right, so as you saw, there were a bunch of numbers that did multiply to negative 16. We only wanted whole numbers. For sake of time, I simply just chose the answer. All right, so now we're moving on. So we have x squared, x to the fourth. And then we have minus 4x squared plus 4xy squared. Sorry about that. 4xy, x squared, y squared minus 16y to the fourth. Now, we're going to break it up. Okay, so we're here. We draw our 4 boxes. We insert our numbers that we're going to go ahead and break out. So we have x to the fourth. We have negative 4x squared y squared. We also have positive 4x squared y squared. We have negative 16y to the fourth. Left to right, can we take out a number? No, because 1 and 4, the only factor that both have is 1. So we're going to take out an x squared. We can't take out an x squared. That's good. Here, we can take out a 4. But is that going to be a positive or negative 4? This determines. This is positive, so that's going to be positive. Here, we can't take out a 4, we can't take out a y, but we can take out an x squared. We got a negative 4. We can't take out an x, but we can take out a y squared. I just look over it one more time. I see, I made a mistake here. I should have also taken out a y squared. All right, so now we have x squared plus 4y squared times x squared minus 4y squared. All right, now, if you notice, this here is a difference of squares. I hope we don't have these on our test. This is a long one, like I said. But if you just look at this, this is a difference of squares right here. X squared minus 4y squared. Because that's a difference of squares, we can break this down again. It's going to be here, x squared minus 0xy, or we can say plus, it doesn't really matter, minus 4y squared. From there, what numbers multiply to negative 4? We've done this a multiple times, but we'll do it again. Remember, a times c, your a is 1. 1 times 4 is negative 4, adds to 0. Let's go with 2 times negative 2. 2 plus negative 2 equals 0. All right, now when we split that up, we're going to have negative 2xy, positive 2xy. minus 4y squared. And then we have x squared here. Now we get to break it down one more time. Math. We have x squared here, negative 2xy, 2xy, and negative 4y squared. Now we're going to GCF it one more time. Take out the x here, the x there, y here, y there. Also, we can take out a 2, so that's going to be 2y. But is it going to be positive? It is, because that's positive. Take out an x here. Now we're going to take out a minus 2y. So your answer, you have to include this, would be x squared plus 4y squared, right? If you want to factor it completely, then it's going to be x plus 2y times x minus 2y. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are your notes for today. Also, you have your math space. Please jump on math space. There are two. There's one that goes with last week's video, and there's one that goes with this week's video. Go ahead and knock those down. I'll be looking. Remember, the fourth quarter has started, so these two are on your fourth quarter grades. Hope you guys are having a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.